Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and thanks for stopping by. Our dedicated team will guide you through with the latest updates and theories at Starbase, Texas. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon for future streams.
9, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
G'day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening from around the world. Welcome to Starbase Weekly, episode 185. I'm Stephanie B, and welcome you all. We've got Alex again with us today. G'day, Alex.
Hello, happy to be here.
And today we've got, after a long stay away, we've got Jake Max Q with us also here. G'day, Jake.
Hey everyone, and yeah, it's been a pretty long time, huh? But yeah, looking forward to the rest of the show, and let's get into it.
And just before we start the show, I'm just going to break over to our producer, our trusty producer, Matt. He's got a little announcement to make.
Yeah, so just a couple quick things to note. Just so that you guys know, due to low amounts of memberships at the moment, we're having a little bit of trouble trying to make sure that we take care of all these live streams and have everything going every single week for you guys. So what we're doing is opening up some sponsorships. So if you guys have a business, possibly local to Brownsville area or anywhere else for that matter, events that you are throwing or possibly products that you want to push, please reach out to us. We are looking to do some sponsorships for you guys, so we'll be able to shout you out a few times for each show, and we can have that for either the Flyover, Starbase Weekly, or even Starbase Expanded. So whichever ones you guys are interested in, feel free to reach out. Just helps us pay for all the different things that we have to do, like transportation for Mauricio. He does live an hour and a half away, so it's a 3-hour round trip for him just for that. Then we've got the aircraft rental, paying for the pilot, the Starlink, all kinds of stuff. So if you guys are willing to help us out with that, we would surely appreciate it. Just make sure that we're able to bring this fantastic content to you every single week. Now, on a more somber note, unfortunately, we had a death in this space community this past week. So, Olivia Liv Parato, she was very incremental and well known by Jared Isaacman and the whole Inspiration team. She designed a really cool thing for the Artemis program. I believe Jake could probably tell us a little bit more about that, but yeah, we just wanted to say rest in peace and our condolences to all of her family and friends. So with that, we'll shoot it back over to you, Steph.
Cool. Just quickly before we move on, Matt, how would a potential sponsor reach out to the RGV team?
So we have our email address down in the comment section, in the information under the video. So if you just want to email us there, you can also reach out if you are a Discord member. So reach out on Discord. But otherwise, just email us and we will get back to you immediately and we'll make it happen.
Thank you very much for that. Okay, we'll start as normal over here at Massey's. Okay, so Massey's. Let's start with just here. The crew have been adding a couple of attachment points here. There's one up here and there's one down here. And Jake, you're saying they've been lifting a piece in a couple of times already.
Yeah, so it's one of the in this photo, it's one of the A-shaped frames sitting on the ramp there. They did lift it up yesterday, I believe. Seemed to probably be a fit check of some kind, because not long after that they did lower it back down again. And then earlier today they have lifted it back up again once more. And they do actually look to have welded it in place this time and disconnected the crane from it. So seems they're happy with the fit of it now.
Cool. So slowly this jigsaw puzzle's gonna, or Tetris puzzle, I guess you want to call it, is going to start coming together a bit more. And we're still very much confident that it's going to be to mount these huggy arms. What do you call them? These arms here to squash the ship, test out how the ship reacts to being pressed against by the chopsticks. What's a better image of that? One of these images is a good image of that little plate in there. There's one there and one further down. Must be that one, is it?
Yeah, it's worth mentioning in that frame they did actually mount pretty much near the top level with the top of the platform. So it seems to be that one they're working on there, and that's it. Yeah.
The other thing you should note is directly to the left they put a horizontal beam going across to the cross frame right there.
Yep.
Which should probably
to add a bit of strength to this little area.
Now they're going to mount something to it. It's from some of the other shots. It's more in line with the plates on the top of the platform.
Ah, gotcha. Have a look around that side. There's some front shots here. We're spoiled for choice of photographs at the moment with the new computer system. It's working so well. We have heaps and heaps and heaps of choice, which is awesome. Oh, that's not the shot. Just one. This might show a bit better. So in line with that plate.
Yeah, I think they're going to put a mounting. No, it's going across probably to the other one. Because don't forget, they also have those diagonal frames below for stiffening for the Tetris puzzle.
Yeah, it's a bit of a puzzle, isn't it? So just quickly on. Oh, it's not the other side. Try to find the other side. This side will do. This side will do. Up on the other side. So you're saying they may even continue that across all the way across here?
No, that's just they're gonna probably use it to connect something heading down to it.
Cool. So over here we can see they've hooked up these conduits or these lines. So maybe there is hydraulics. I haven't been able to find. Have you been able to find a hydraulic power unit up top here? Are they using hydraulics from the ground level?
As of now, I think everything's on the ground.
Yeah. So there's probably electrical and hydraulics here, I guess. They've been hooked up, and of course the scaffolding is all the way to the top now. Okay, let's find this other photo down lower. There's a really good photo of the SQD this week again. Of course, I had it all. There it is. So this week, they've hooked up these green hoses. Last week, they must have just been sitting here temporarily last week, because this week they're hooked right up into the QD plate here. What's your thoughts on those green lines there, Jake?
I've still not 100% worked that out yet. It's probably the high pressure lines. Although I still haven't figured out yet exactly what's being used on the V3 ship QD plates. Because I think I've worked it out recently that there was something like 15 ports on the V2 and V1 ship QD plates, and then about 23 or 24 ports on the V3 ship plates. So there's a lot of investigating to be done, basically.
I was sort of thinking maybe they have something to do with these clamps, but looks like we're only guessing at this stage, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's entirely possible.
And a little further, oh, that's not the right image. A little further down. Hang on 1 second. It's really good having all these extra images. It just makes it a tiny bit tricky sometimes to find the right image. We've got some more bits and pieces for the frame as well.
Well, while you look, Stephanie, we've actually been getting lots of donations. Mind if I read them off?
Oh, there you go. Awesome.
All right. We first want to welcome a couple of new members to the RGV Early Access team. aka John Doe joined us. Welcome to the team. Severin Fisher says, thank you for everything you do. I love these. He's been a member for 4 months. Thank you for being a member for 4 months. Fly Jake 314 just joined the RGV Early Access team. And then we have lots of donations. Yazada donated $20 and says, keep Mauricio and Fred in the air. Definitely. We'd want to do that. Definitely. And then Andy Adler donated a gifted sub, and the recipient was very happy, I'm sure. We also got some more donations from Todd Burnell, who donated $45 through PayPal, and then also $5 through YouTube, and says, let's go, everyone. Let's keep RGV flying. Send another $45 via PayPal. Less fee. Which is true. If you do want to donate and you don't want YouTube to get a majority of the money, you can always donate through PayPal to the RGV team, and I can put that in the chat in just a minute. And then we got a donation from DMHMT for $4.99. Thank you so much. And then more donations. $10 from James Wilson Says, go Juice, keep 'em flying safe. Fly Jake donated $10 as well. Here's for more sweet petrol. Love for that. 172. Go RGV, keep those images coming. We've got a $20 donation through PayPal from Yazada. Thank you, Yazada, for that as well. We also got a $99.99 donation from Rex Johnson. Thank you, Rex. And he says, sure love all the pics and commentary. Another $10 from Turtle Sanctuary. And they say, so if we rename Starbase Live to Show and Tell, then the non-member could watch Show and Tell, while members only would be allowed to watch Show and Tell. Wow. That's quite a little complex going on. And those are the donations. And then when you're ready for questions, we have a couple of those.
So question, I'll just show these new parts coming up, and I'll switch over to questions. So I had the image in the wrong sort of area. You know, these are some more parts which we assume are for that new structure, and a couple of added bits which I assume go up the other way in here to be parallel with that, but a little bit longer. So it may have something to do with the little step up there near the platform. It looks like they orientate as this is the top because of these little platform thingies here. So yeah, that donation, wow guys, just wow, that's, I'm blown away. Good on you. That's just totally awesome. Thank you so much, especially that one from Rex. Wow, that's amazing. It's a little platform here and another set of A-frames, I guess you want to call them, here as well. I think that bit's left over from the ship static fire stand platform. So there's questions.
I was going to say that could be used on the next static fire test stand, possibly. It may not go completely unused.
True. So is there questions just for the static fire stand area? Indy, you want to start with them?
The first question I have has to do.
I think we lost you.
Sorry. No, sorry. There's a question from Total It Watts. They ask, any views of Rio West development this week? And we want to let you know that we won't be doing it on this show, but if you are sure to tune in tomorrow for Starbase Expanded, tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. Central Time, we're going to cover that in detail. So be sure to stay tuned for that one. And that's it for the questions at the moment.
That's a good question. Yeah, it's a good answer. Thank you very much, Indy. Okay, so let's go back up that end of the masses for a second. I was going to say in here there was something I saw earlier, but I can't remember what it was now. Alex, have you got anything more to add to this about this this new test structure?
Nope, just those green lines are hydraulic if you look at the fittings at the end. The square plates.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I kind of figured.
And
go on.
Yeah, it was called out last week as well.
Cool. Okay. It might have been that they hooked up. That's what I saw earlier.
The other shot showed all the little Firex little sprayers.
Oh yeah. Thanks. I'll go back over there. Some of these down. Maybe this one will show it. No. Well, that's disorientating.
Well, that one shows one, but the other shot was better because you saw them from more profile. But it's all good.
I want to have a look in there anyway, because we can also see that they've poured that concrete wall. And this shows a few more of those Spirex sprinklers. So they're all the way up here as well, yeah?
Yeah, and they'll go all the way to the QD and spray around it as well.
Yeah, we used to on the previous server structure. They used to have I remember that being covered in fire X nozzles as well.
This is a more general system that was never set up previously.
So, I guess that wouldn't help much with I suppose it'd help with an aftermath of a 36 type event, wouldn't it? Rather than actually, of course. Sorry, I'm just being funny.
It's more to regulate the heat radiating on those pipes from the test fires, the hot fires. It's not really suppressed. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Would it also help with some of the, the acoustic energy as well, or just mainly for heat?
Mainly for heat. The trench takes care of as much as it can be done with the acoustic energy.
Cool. Thank you very much. Okay, over in this little spot here, this new, I guess we call it a heat exchange tank. I guess probably the best description for it, is it, Alex?
Is what we can see currently, yeah. But how they're using it is open for debate.
I see they've added a little skid for it, and it's been somewhat plumbed in with a line out that way and a couple of lines going this way. They're plumbed in over to here. Not sure where that's going just yet. So far, I'm not sure whether it appears to be liquid nitrogen or liquid cryogenics yet or not. I guess it has to vaporize some kind of liquid to a gas, I guess, doesn't it?
Or they're using it to chill gas as well. I mean, it's a heat exchanger.
Sure.
Most likely a heat exchanger, I should say.
Sure, of course, it can go the other way around. Sure. Yeah, this new lens, people in chat are saying this new lens, it's pretty amazing. So a bit more hardware looks like here, and perhaps here, maybe all this is to do with that new tank. I guess once we figure out what it is, we'll let you all know. Okay, let's move around. So that's pretty well that end of the site. I think through the week we might have seen the odd. I think we might have seen one ground photo. Or sorry, not a ground photo, a water photo. I think they're still doing some some pressure testing on the COPVs.
Yeah, I think there was at least 3 or 4 lots that were seen moving to Marcy's this week. Be interested to see how long it actually continues for.
I'm wondering, Alex, if it's going to be an ongoing thing, like continuously all throughout production.
It depends if they're validating them, like proof testing them before installing them, or if they're checking their procedures.
Of course, yep. Thank you. Okay, let's move on to. That's a nice close shot. The the booster puck shucking stand has been now moved to the production site. So hopefully that indicates we're going to see booster 19 roll out soonish rather than laterish. Oh, look, it's even a more closer photo.
And hopefully booster 19 actually gets a chance to make use of all these RAMs.
I said booster 19, didn't I? I've been saying the wrong numbers lately.
Yeah, I think I said 19.
At least I said booster and not ship this time. Oh, that's a nice image. Nice up close. You can see all the clamps and the locating balls. A fair bit of the infrastructure of the RAMs and so on. All the little actuators.
I was going to say this is one of the only test stands now where you can actually see a decent amount of the underside of the booster. That was obviously with the you got the booster transport stands and the new ship transport stands. You can barely see in the engine sections of those now.
Yeah, there's a nice I didn't get any of this. I should look for Sean's stuff. There's been quite a few good photos of this from the side too. Okay, then on to the ship cryo stand.
Because I remember when Booster 18 rolled out on this, and then the aft rolled back, and we got to see quite a few interesting details on the underside of that aft section, which is pretty cool.
So just on that ship 39 here, so test tank 39.1, we can see currently live here, thanks to Avid Space. Well, we did see a minute ago, but not anymore, we can't. We can see that it's actually being tall frosty and being tested. This is that fan box, isn't it, Alex?
Yeah.
And for anyone wondering, this is the 6th test involving cryogenic liquids for that test tank.
Okay, so here's 39.1 here with its, looks like it's got the liquid nitrogen line, and I was very much mistaken by saying it's a liquid oxygen to it as well. That's actually a pre-pressed line. Thank you for pulling me up on that, Alex. And as you just said before the show, pretty well all the test tanks have this same system on it.
Yep. I mean, they can top fill if they want. And I mean, the way that one's rigged out, it looks like they have burst discs, they have a pre-press, and not seeing vent line. So yeah, the other one's probably a vent. Now that's a blowout preventer. It's probably a burst disc right there.
Gotcha.
Though there is also the actuator on it, so they can vent it with that.
So an actuator there and there. Okay.
Well, yeah, you have lots of. I mean, yeah.
Now, what's the scientific reason for this pipe being so crooked all over the place?
Yes.
Very accurate answer.
Are these motors down there? Is this part of the test down here? That's some high pressure, is it?
It's hydraulic.
Of course. Yeah. I can see that now, yeah.
It's all lurking in the. Yeah, ever since they started moving their pumps to the stands, it's.
Oh, that's actually permanent part of the stand, yeah.
I believe so.
Cool. And this time around, we're not seeing this thing get used at all, so I'm not sure that ever was.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 39.1. We've got lots of nice images of all the stands this week. So let's move on to try and find that. There's a really good close picture of the LOX pumps I missed in the show and tell.
So I have questions for you regarding the tank, I believe.
Sure.
So Fly Jake asks, will there be any protection to the pipes next to the stand coming out of the cement bunker?
Not likely. There's only so much
And
you
then
can do to an extent.
Sorry.
That's okay. Go on.
No. There's only so much you can do to an extent, meaning?
There's only so much you can do to protect us. So at a certain point, you demark that this is sacrificial beyond this point.
And to be honest, that's if that pipe work ever gets taken out, that's a hell of a lot better than how it used to be. It's not that bad.
Right on. We also want to thank Mr. Hal 9000, who donated $4.99 and says, thank you for all the hard work, RGV team. There's another question from Jacob Buzz. He's asking, are the pipes near the stands that have do you know why the pipes near the stands have flat tops?
I think they're talking about the static fire test on pedestals. That'll be what those are for. Yeah. So you'll have a plate similar to that on the bottoms of the static fire test stand legs that just bolt onto those.
Or are they talking about this, Jake? Hang on, where's that photo again? Not talking about that, are they? I'll have to get a verification.
I wouldn't have thought so. No, I wouldn't have thought so.
But just in case, so these, Alex, are these filters or are these just fittings?
You can't tell without seeing from the side. More than likely just fittings.
Cool, thanks.
There's a question from Lewis asking, why doesn't the booster cryo stand have actuators on the outer engines?
Well, this has always been the thrust puck tester rather than the... It's a good question, by the way. So I guess they're not really needing to test this part of the structure. They do need to test this part of the structure. Have you got anything more to add to that, Alex?
I mean, just the outer mounting points are essentially on the outer wall of the vehicle, so if that were to fail, it would be game over. But they're usually just tests sort of the puck structure, the dome with all the penetrations for the data and propellant lines and all that other good stuff.
I wonder what that one's for.
It's a drain on the bottom of the tank.
Okay. So is that on the booster just for this testing phase, or is it also used like during flight or whatever?
There is a sump exit on the bottom, or at least there used to be.
Cool. Thanks, Indy.
Just for clarification, Jacob was asking the stands that hold the pipes right past the bunker wall and parallel to the long side of the flame trench.
Those would still be, yeah, those are still sacrificial.
Thank you.
Yep.
Does he mean these plates? I'm wondering. It almost looks like there's, I guess these plates sort of may have made us in the past think that maybe there's going to be some kind of cover on top. But like, aren't these just sort of like standard sort of items?
Yeah, if you go to any of the pipe boys that SpaceX has made, they all have, I won't say all, but the vast majority of them have that ability so that they can just easily add a level.
Yeah, I can see it on this one here, exactly the same thing what you're talking about.
It's a lot easier to put the pipes in, put the next level spacer, and plumb it out that way than to try and feed it in.
And yeah, I've got some feedback that yeah, that's exactly what he was talking about. So thanks for the question, Jacob. Thanks, Indy.
My pleasure.
One of them times where you had the image lined up and then you had to move away. So the LOX farm here, there's still no more LOX pumps installed. I'm not going to find that image now. This week we can see they've added the other fan to the fan box. And perhaps when they add these two hippos, they've been working on them, have they? Maybe. They may even have a second exhaust for these two come in here, perhaps. Yeah, quick another look for that image. No, it doesn't want to show up.
It's 9913 if you have the numbers.
Thanks. It was right there in front of me. It's a really nice close-up of the LOX pump system. You can see the twin pumps, and the four actuators. So there's not even the pumps, is there, in here?
Nope.
Thank you.
You watch, it'll be like the launch site where we were waiting months and months for the last methane pump to be installed.
I mean, I honestly don't think they need both pumps for a lot of their testing currently.
So would like 39A be a higher priority for the pumps and engines motors than here, perhaps, Alex?
If you look at the satellites, it looks like these two skids came from 39.
Oh, there's two missing. Yeah, that's true. Sorry, thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think we can move on to 18.3. This week sees pretty well all of the torsion rods, pull-down rods, tension rods in place, with the odd one missing. And interestingly, they're sort of different lengths here and there, leading some speculation to maybe they're pushing on some and pulling on others. But I didn't think they could put much push force into that rod. I don't know. What do you think, Alex?
I mean, you can. It'll, depending how rigid it is, it'll buckle a bit. But if you're trying to get like some vibration, you could, thump them a little bit and use the deflection to your advantage. But I mean, some of these, it's the cylinder's all the way out, and it's an adjacent one. It's pretty much nearly bottomed out. That's a perfect example of. And the two.
It doesn't look like there's much pull left on that one, does it?
Yep, and the two adjacent ones are nearly fully extended.
Yeah, so when they pull, it's only going to be a matter of, like, would it even be an inch, 20 odd mil, or 50 mil maybe?
Really hard to tell what their tolerances are on this. It shouldn't be that much. But probably more than you would think.
Yeah, I guess because there'd be a certain amount of stretch in the rods, I guess, and a certain amount of, I guess, compression in the whole overall system.
Is the pushing and the pulling happening at the same time? Or is it like a...
You can, because, I mean, each rod you can have a slightly different movement so that you can shape the forces that you're inducing.
And that's innate, it's sort of, because the load points are through here and up in through there, they're trying to sort of put stress in particular areas of the test article. That's what you're saying in show and tell, Alex?
Yeah, it's primarily they're testing that load paths where the trusses are intersecting with the dome. Meanwhile, the ship sort of stand-in, it's more or less the same as the previous, since it's the mating surfaces shouldn't really deform, since it's kind of a continuous box beam around the perimeter. But meanwhile, where it's hitting the booster, you're generating some point loads, and that's what they're presumably trying to test to see how it's resisting. They can induce a little bit of torque into it, probably not too much. And yeah, seeing if they can get to buckle, how much deformation is happening versus what they simulated, and all sorts of good stuff.
So along those same lines, Spender's asking, any idea what the structure may be for stabilizing the ship to test control thrusters?
This tests are currently just testing the upper mating surface. Those load pass through the how that gets transferred into the body as a booster.
Sort of even more so, or as well as actually testing the truss itself, I guess.
That they could probably do without a vehicle. This is sort of that integration system kind of level testing. A lot of it, you make a lot of simplified models for how it's going to behave.
And just quickly, this is that, we'll see another one on Sanchez. This tank isn't sitting directly on the crusher. There's a little stand in between. I think that's what they're building in Sanchez, yeah? With the same with the holes in it.
Yeah.
I was only yesterday years old when I learnt that.
Yeah, it's some of the views are on the stand that's more obvious than others.
Yeah, that was a good view actually, that last photo, yeah. So there's heaps of like sensors all over the place. There was some of the ground shots that show lots of these sensors going up on the trusses, checking all the different areas around where they're actually testing.
But yeah, I mean, a lot of those strain gauges too, you just attach them, and then you have to build a calibration curve to see how they're reacting to known inputs. Because they can be fiddly.
Yeah, pretty amazing modern technology with monitoring things like this. So I was joking in show and tell. So there's the new clamp system. Not. Imagine that. Okay, so also the 16th, was it, test on this 18.1, I think it was, this week?
Yeah, 16 on that, and then for B18.3, I think it's 9 tests. 9 cryo tests so far, plus whatever sort of other testing they've done on it in between.
So they're really testing these new this new version 3 out a lot.
Yeah, I think they've only done one test with this full can crusher setup on it so far.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, he's going to see them. Any sensors on this side? No, not really. It's fairly pretty sort of engineering in there. Okay, I think we're pretty well done with Massey's. Just down the front here, they have added some top plates to this ship transport stand that may be used for some kind of testing in the future. Seems to have the same bolt holes. So anything else, Alex, you can think of at Massey's you want to talk about?
Not really. There's just a lot of dangling questions that maybe next week we'll get a little more clarity on.
And more questions, I'm sure.
Yeah. So any more questions or anything to do with Massey's before I move on, Indy?
Not about Massey's, but there was a question for Mauricio. I don't know if Mauricio can hear me or is listening, but the Viper was asking what the camera is. He says, deets on the new lens, please. Wow.
Actually,
I think, Jeff. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh, sorry. I was just getting ready to say Jeff A did answer that in the chat. It's f9.0 1-2000 800 millimeter ISO 250.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm never going to remember that. I'm sure he's got that written down somewhere. I love
But if
the
you watch
concrete.
the Flyovers when he streams it live, you can actually see the camera and see that lens. It's great.
Yeah. Nice bit of concrete going on. The concrete gets a bit of a bashing around here. Okay, on to Sanchez. Sanchez a little bit quiet this week. Start over in this area. So they haven't started building the third ship stand yet, and it doesn't look like they've started putting clamps on the second stand yet. Where's the photo? At the third stand, they've added some stuff on top. One sec. This photo. So the bits in between the clamps have been getting put on top. Maybe this one's a better image. Yeah, that's a better image.
I guess that's so. Just the none of the bottom of the ship is sitting on thin air, basically.
Yeah. So taking 6,000 feet, isn't that just over a mile? Isn't a mile 5,000 something feet?
5280.
5280. Yeah. Been so long since I worked with miles. So yeah, from about a mile away, that's pretty good resolution, to be honest. Still no change on these two mystery rings. They haven't moved or anything. I think, Alex, you're saying these could possibly be control panels for whatever's going on here, perhaps, or something at Massey's.
Yep. Yeah, that's usually their Massey's staging area.
I believe the big ring structure on the left. I think I saw a crane hooked up to it earlier today. Didn't see where it ended up in the end, or if it was lifted. But yeah, they definitely seem to be doing something with those structures now.
I think next week's blow, we may just see where they go. If that's the case. Okay, I was talking about that interface between the tank at Massey's and the stand. And we believe this is another one. And maybe for the test tank that's in Mega Bay 2 currently. Probably more than likely. There is another shot of it here somewhere. You can actually see the same holes drilled into the top of it. I'm not doing so good with images this way. This image, here it is. There we go. It's a little quiet here at Sanchez. This area is fully dedicated to the work platforms. One sec. Oh, was it last week we saw one completely put together in one piece?
Yeah, I believe that was in that area. It was a platform that seemed to go quite far around the vehicle.
Oh yeah, let's not forget about the elephant in the room here. So Chrome Kiwi, one of our regular, very valued members, came up with an idea. Maybe this is for grid fin testing. It seems to have a grid fin mount up in here, and there's some of the other guys like BJ in the chat noticed these mounting points for an actuator, so perhaps this is some kind of grid fin test rig.
Although I'm still curious to see if there is actually enough clearance out to get a grid fin in. Obviously, with the way that you got that sloped front to it, is it long enough to drop a grid fin down and then slide into those holes?
Let me see on a different angle. It's hard to tell sometimes how long things are. One sec. Yeah, it's a good point though. It's a good question.
Because that's the bit I'm getting stuck on. Is if that's if it's anything to do with grid fin testing, then why would you drop it in at an angle through the top like that and not have the structure set up to be able to sort of slide it in through the end?
Because they're a bit sort of shorter than the other ones, aren't they? New green fins, aren't they fatter and shorter?
Not sure about shorter. They might actually be slightly longer because they got
Okay,
that extra tapered bit on it.
Yeah, I might have that wrong. Sorry.
I mean, the mounting point is right near that top beam, so. And it
I think it
drops down a bit, so yeah, you could probably just slide it right in.
Yeah. Sorry, Alex. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty well that end of Sanchez. I said Sanchez is going to be a bit quick this week.
Before you go away from the white structure, H2O Gardening is asking, what if the grid fin comes in from the outside and they put pressure on the inner structure?
Well, it appears that we can't, from the past we see, I mean, obviously the new grid fins are going to be a little bit different to the old grid fins because of the boosters a little bit different this time around. But we have seen before that they have the larger circle on the outside, and then inside there must be some kind of centre mount this time around. Well, there was in the past too, wasn't there, a centre mount further in on the top of the version 2 booster. So it sort of has to orientate this way around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's interesting though is if this is for grid fin testing, why SpaceX is feeling the need to do standalone grid fin testing this time, unless they did actually do testing of the grid fins at somewhere like Hawthorne, the previous generation of grid fins.
They might be finally getting to the point where they're trying to shed weight, so it'll be more regular. It might not be for, here's the new grid fin, let's check it. It might be, here's the new design of the grid fin, let's test it.
It was, I think Elon might have even said a while ago that they're trying very much to get the tear weight down.
Yeah.
And yeah, so go ahead.
In batch 2, there were a lot of good other angles of this.
And while you look for those, we want to thank Hawaii Mike for his $20 donation. And they say, love your coverage, just a little support. We appreciate that support. And Drew Nar donated $5 Canadian and says, flyover fuel? Yes, coffee is important. Thank you both so much. And thank you all for your generosity so far. We just started and you guys are just kicking butt and taking names, and we appreciate it greatly.
Yeah, that one's the one I was just looking at.
And it's structurally really strong, this frame, so it's obviously designed to take some force, or to apply some force, I should say, into whatever it's testing. This being solid up, it was only testing from this point and this point into that point. This structure here, maybe they're going to do some testing from this end as well, perhaps.
I wonder if maybe it's not specifically for the grid fins themselves to be tested, but maybe the motors behind them?
Actually, it could even be testing the motors, because if they have an actuator here and here, even like with load cells on it, and they actually actuate the motors to push against the rams too, they could even test the motors as well. I'd say it's an overall test. Like Alex said, they're trying to shed weight. I think shedding weight's a fairly high priority over the next couple of versions, and they'll be trying to delete weight, and then till something breaks, and they'll have to add weight back again, I guess. Okay, so that's that end of Massey's now, I think. I nearly forgot that little thing. So every time we have something new lately, the joke's been, it's a breakover, because we all thought that was or a lot of us thought that was a breakover. So it's a bit of a joke going on.
Yeah, and I can see that joke continuing for quite a while to come, so.
Right up there with when launch.
Oh, yeah.
That was the funniest day when that happened on Jessica's stream. That was so funny. Oh, no, that was when, was it Jana rocked up, wasn't it? When's the next? Is there going to be a launch today? That was back when B4 was still around. Okay, SpaceX has taken delivery of some new, they're not SPMTs, there's the Ts, they're, BJ said what they were, I forget what he said now, but they're
Modular trailers.
Modular trailers, yeah, rather than self-propelled ones, they're ones that get pulled along. And maybe they're something to do with transporting vehicles to the port. I'm not sure. It's one speculation that came up. So these have power units on them, not to drive the thing, but to control the suspension and the steering. And they can. So these can move themselves, but they can also disengage. I think BJ was saying. Whereas the pure SPMTs, you can't disengage the hydraulics, so they can't be like towed. I think that's how that conversation went.
I mean, they'll come in quite handy for a few things, really. Not just
Sure.
transporting vehicles.
Absolutely. Oh, this is the one that looks like it's getting put together. Once you get older than the age of 50, your brain starts to... So this looks like it's... Is that a straight edge? Is this like going to be a corner, and this is where the booster's going to come in this way? And these platforms are starting to sort of actually wrap around, actually.
Yeah, that big platform we saw last week is sort of quite similar to this as well, with how it can wrap quite far around the vehicles.
And we saw in that later... Also, go ahead.
It's not quite halfway around. It's like a U.
Yeah, and we saw in that last image from SpaceX, they've got drop-in platforms for around the rest of the booster there that aren't like scaffolding anymore. The booster 18, they've taken the manifolds off the bottom of it. Thanks for Jake for spotting that out, for spotting that and pointing that out for us.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have really known about that if I hadn't seen the ground photos of it.
The new ship static fire stand, they've added the legs, and they're in the process of adding the legs, one of the three, and they're still got the horizontal beams to put in down the bottom for transport.
And of course, there's the... Oh, go ahead, Alex.
No, I was just saying they're all prepped for welding, too.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean, that area? Is that what you mean there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Lewis the Raptor, that answer was for you. He asked, what about the ship static fire stand this week?
So
Which one?
Which one? You read my mind.
And of course, yeah, in that pile there's the round plates that will attach to the bottom of the legs of that new stand too, for attaching to the pedestals and massies. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's them.
Oh, sweet. And we had way too long of a conversation whether that was a hole or not in that thing the other day, yesterday. What's over here? What's all this stuff?
I was just about to ask what that little white box is down there that have the two hoses. One's red and one's blue.
This one. This is a This used to be this is where they park ship. Let me think. This used to be a ship engine installation stand here, and this is the same as down here. It's one of these. It's the pressurization unit for a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
27 was it? Was here for a long time.
There was a few vehicles that were used on that stand. 26 would be one of the biggest ones.
It was a while ago. I mean, it probably wasn't that long ago. It feels like a while ago anyway. Okay, how's the questions going, Indy?
I have one for you, but it's a little bit off of the topic that you're on currently. Jacob is asking, they will have to build a breakover fixture for the starships at some point. So what would that look like?
That's a good question. Maybe something similar to what we see at Florida, perhaps, for the Artemis booster. I'm not sure. It's more of a break up, though, isn't it, a break over?
I would probably look at what they have at McGregor and how they're standing up Falcons.
Yeah, that might be better analogy. Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything super fancy compared to what we see people like NASA using for the SLS core stages. I think it'll be a much more simplified versions of those.
I think the new transport stands are going to be integrated with them.
Well, that'd be fancy for sure. So they keep them clamped and something underneath bolts on, perhaps to let them tip over, yeah?
Yep.
I suppose that saves them taking the... I mean, could it even stay on them while they transport them, so they just put them back up again at Florida?
I'll probably keep it bolted to whatever. Because the thing is, for the booster and the ship, there's only a couple points on their frames that are designed for carrying heavy loads. I mean, they have their catch and lift pins, and then their afts. So
grab the catch pins and put
tip
a
it
hinge
over
under here and tip it over.
Yep. And probably a kicker ram to start rotating it over.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Rather than pulling it from the top necessarily.
Well, you're supporting it, but yeah, I think you'd want to tip it rather than pull it over.
And I've heard you say quite often that these cylinders basically are quite, especially with the new downcomer, are quite strong enough to be held horizontally without any sort of bracing.
Yeah. I mean, the loads they take, like the booster, I think parts of boost back, it's under, I want to say it's over 14 Gs of acceleration.
Hey, didn't Elon say something like 20 Gs or something stupid?
It might be that high. I thought it was 20, but that seemed ridiculous. So, but 14 or above seemed, it'll catch that. But yeah, I mean, anything above 10 G is just, I mean, at that point, it's empty and it's carrying, and it's being subjected to more forces than when it was flying with the ship on top of it. So,
How do you keep saying, just look at Flight 1?
I wouldn't, that's all just bulky, get her done construction. That isn't near a production booster.
Oh, so what you mean, yeah, cool.
There's a reason they didn't do as much structural testing on V1 and 2 as they're doing with 3.
So it was more like it was overbuilt, and now they're sort of fine-tuning making it lighter.
Yeah, if you're not carrying any payload or up, then you can utilize that extra mast for overbuilding things.
All right, so we talked about the second ship static fire stand. I won't zoom in too much. That's the only image I've got because it's such a wide shot. So that's the only reason why I'm getting a tiny bit of pixelation now. It's nothing to do with the lens. It's just a whole lot of digital information in one image here. So they had, we mentioned earlier, we didn't mention earlier, but they brought the first ship static fire stand here with its platform. It still seems to have its scaffold, and still doesn't seem to have its RVAC braces yet, which may be different on the version 3, I'm not sure.
Or they don't need them anytime soon.
Do you think they'll put 39 on it without engines to go and do that squeeze test first?
Yep. They're definitely, I got a lot of flack last week where it's pretty obvious they want to commission the hot fire stand, and commissioning does not indicate actual firing before they're going to thrust buck the bottom of it, or even finish that proof station for the ship.
And as Ryan Hansen was saying recently as well, it's been very clear to see that the priority seems to have been getting the static fire test pad up and running again fully. Instead of getting the cryo station up and running fully again. The same with the community armies.
From the testing, it's been obvious that they've been validating a lot of their models. They're not to the point where they're doing rollout and standardized testing. Validation. This is all. Let's make sure the structure is behaving how we think it should.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And yeah, it's the same thing. Ryan gave me a lot of flack for my verbiage. It's like, no, learn some process engineering.
Okay, a funny little comment in chat about an F1 track around Starbase I've been talking about, so that'd be funny to have a little go, at least a go-kart track. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the vehicles over the next sort of month or two. I really don't see January, February, even March perhaps for a launch at least at this stage, so I'll have to keep an eye on that as well. I think there's going to be a bit longer before we get to a launch. Okay, any more last questions or comments on Sanchez, please?
Not from the chat, but definitely that Rough Riders photo of the booster stand 19 is phenomenal and one of my favorite stands.
Actually, that's on Twitter, so I can actually, or X, so I can probably see that. I can probably look at that. Just let me quickly find it here. I might have to zip over to my area. Hang on. Yeah, I might just have to. Sorry, don't mean to scroll onions, make you all dizzy.
It's in your DMs. Steph, it's in your DMs.
Yeah, okay, I might look there.
You're about to squirrel so bad, Steph.
I won't go too squirrely. Yeah, it's from X. Cage. They say his name. Gage. So thanks, Gage, for posting this up on X for us all to have a look at. And yeah, it's an awesome image. We could spend half an hour talking about this, but we might leave that for another day.
Tomorrow.
So so thanks NSF and thanks Rough Riders for posting that image. I'm hoping that was all legal and proper. Okay, moving on to the build site. Nice big panorama for the build site this week. Panoramic. Okay, the Gigabay. It's going ahead as expected. Big thing this week, I guess, is these bracing / walkways, whatever you want to call them, in between in the aisles. They're fairly obviously temporary. This image is a bit better. It doesn't seem to be hardware for flooring going through here is the only thing that's about it being a walkway.
We can drop plating on it at any point.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
I was going to say it doesn't need to be anything super fancy either. It's it's literally just pretty much providing a lot more accessibility around the bay during construction. It's pretty much how I'm seeing it.
True, Alex.
Yeah,
True.
so
Go ahead, Alex.
that's. Oh no, I disagree with. I think Jake and I are saying the exact same thing.
Sweet, yeah. It's interesting.
Tony has a fabulous accent.
This week we see his work elevator put in with 2 cars for it. Do you want to call them cars? Carriages?
Cabs.
Cabs?
Cabs.
And it looks like there's... this image doesn't show. Looks like there's another one back here going in as well. In this area.
Yeah, because that looks like a bunch of trusses on the ground for its column. It's lattice.
Going, like I said, heavily quickly on the 3rd level. There's the little brackets are in here as well, but it's for that same. In here you can see them for the same bridges / so bracing. Yeah, so you're saying, Alex, these cables they can do enough just with these cables, can't they?
Yeah, I mean
So-
it's essentially they have to put the shear in the walls they have because it's how much each section is basically self-supporting. Because I think the better way of looking at it. So perhaps tomorrow's show, PK will be around and he would be much better equipped at explaining the nuances of how large structures work.
Yeah, favourite architect, Philip QD, is very knowledgeable with buildings. I feel like he's just about worked on every building in America some days.
And I've got a bit of a question as well. It might be a bit of a silly one, but is it probably safe to assume that all the floors, all the concrete in those probably won't be poured until the whole structure is being put together due to steel settling?
No, I think it'll get to a certain height and then they're going to start going in and finishing. Because, I mean, in essence, most of it, they only have the ground and the next lift above it. So, generally, after a couple of floors, you'll start finishing in the lower levels. It's pretty standard for high-rise construction, or else it'd take forever to get most buildings done.
Because that's what I wondered about. If you started pouring the floors now, and then started putting a lot more steel on top for the rest of the bay, would it mess with the concrete at all? But I guess not.
I mean, it could. But a lot of it's designed for expected deflection as loading and stuff goes.
Last week we saw some handrails get put in, but I can't see any new ones get put in.
Yeah, all structures move, and generally it's a lot more than most people realize. I mean,
They have to move, don't they? If they're too rigid, they're brittle, and that creates problems, doesn't it?
yeah, it'll crack, and they're too heavy. So you're fighting a lot. But yeah, I mean, sounds I want to say Willis Tower has nearly a meter normal sway.
Yeah, I know. Skyscrapers are amazing just how much they move, actually, at the top of skyscrapers. They move a long way.
Yeah,
A scary amount.
I'll never get used to a building moving.
Yeah, especially when you can feel it.
No, it's sort of like when you're sitting in the back of a
Chris.
plane, like when you're sitting in the back of a plane and there's turbulence and you can see the flex in the fuselage.
That's a
I've
big
not
fat no.
experienced that yet. I've not experienced that.
I have.
Where you, yeah, it's
Sometimes you think the luggage doors might even pop open.
and lots of wings just flapping.
Yeah.
Okay, so last week we saw a barrel section here was moved out of the factory and it's moved back into the factory. It's better I can talk about Mega Bay 1 and the fact that the booster cryo stand is somewhere in the vicinity now.
I think the booster cryo stand is somewhere in Sanchez, I believe, from what I can see on the various live stream cams.
You'd sort of think if you're in this area or this area, I would imagine they would have parked it somewhere there or somewhere here, to be honest.
It looks close-ish to the Rocket Garden, I think. So, yeah. Hopefully it won't sit there for too long, though, and hopefully we do see it going into the bay quite soon.
Cool, we're doing good on time. Now, Mega Bay 2, not much to report there. We have seen the scaffold removed. I think we talked about that last week off ship 39. And there's still that little test tank sitting over here on the turntable. So there's been no parts for ship 40 at all seen. I think Jake, you were saying they're still working on the payload and nose cone section.
Yeah, that's still sitting inside the Star Factory with a scaffolding around at least half of it. Although I can't say I've seen much change with the heat shield on it recently. They did start drilling holes into a load of the tiles, which I don't think we actually have any confirmed reason yet as to exactly why they're doing that. It did seem like they did start doing it to 39 as well. And what I have noticed on 39, it seems to only be down one side of the heat shield. So I'm thinking it's probably some kind of heat shield experiment for the next flight. Because with, I think, the last two ships, they were keeping the experiments pretty much all to one side of the ship. So, yeah, I thought it was a interesting little thing going on there.
Cool, thanks for that. Drilling holes in the tile. Wow, they're really testing those tiles out. I wonder, Alex, would that have something? How is the play? How's that gonna? Is the the interaction of re-entry? Is that gonna? How's that gonna work? What's gonna happen there?
That's how they filled it, but I mean, the vehicle isn't smooth, and you're not really going for like laminar flow. It's so the aerodynamic forces aren't that high from the plasma.
Oh, any further thoughts on the holes in the 39 tiles? Is it a
I
dimpled a golf ball thing or stress removal kind of thing?
I'd like to actually see more of a tile than the glimpses we have, because right now it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And on the same thing is about the hole that you just said now. Are they putting a test pillar in them? Perhaps I think you just said that a second ago.
Yeah, they might be experimenting with a way of non-destructive being able to place and remove tiles. So, but again, having 3 holes on all of your tiles, if they have plugs or anything, just starts turning to a ridiculous amount of potential failure. And at least from what we've seen, it doesn't necessarily mean it would endangers vehicles that much, but if you have burn through and now all your pins are damaged, well, it makes maintaining challenging. But anyway, all knows their heat shield is a very moving target right now.
Yeah, still a lot of iteration perhaps to do and testing and working on that. Another thing about 39, it's had its aft one, at least the first aft flap installed. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, I was just saying, that's what I keep saying to people about the heat shield and Starship. I know people are hoping to see complete heat shields soon with no experiments done on them, but I think that's going to continue for a while longer. I think SpaceX are just trying to find as many failure modes as possible and figure out how to deal with them, so they don't have to start worrying about it later on down the line. It's yeah.
Yeah, the squeeze test will be interesting. And yeah, it's still likely. The tiles will work long term, but the amount of maintenance they need now would definitely make it challenging for rapid turnaround.
We have lots of questions on the whole.
Yeah, I just asked a couple of them, Indy. Let's go ahead.
Thank you. Which ones did you ask? I don't want to ask the same ones.
The Tony UG ones, the Mocky one. Oh no, I didn't do that one. The DM Hunt one.
And then the holes in TPS tiles maybe for thermal equalization from Viper?
They are those tiles are fairly thermally stable. It's the interactions between the sides of tiles that, from expansion and contraction, I don't think they're having thermal stresses going through them. If they were, they probably wouldn't have sharp corners on their tiles, but
And then there was a question from Javine asking, why would the ship be receiving its aft flaps at this stage?
Simply just because SpaceX has got the time to do it. It's probably going to be a little while still until 39 can go out for its the start of its testing campaign. So, whilst just sitting in the bay, waiting on for testing, might as well get the rest of the work done on it.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I think something saying about I don't know what they're talking about. Something about seismic. Okay, let's move over to the back here. Another aft flap has arrived. I'm not sure whether that's the aft flap they put on 39 or not.
Probably.
Probably. There could be other ones inside stored, I guess.
Have enough tile?
Sorry, Alex?
All the crates of tile just to the right.
Oh, cool. So they are making, I mean, we assume they're making tiles in here as well, yeah?
Yeah, although the bulk of them are still being produced over at the Hangar X2 building at Roberts Road, because there was actually I think that's what we saw inside of on the Flight 11 webcast from SpaceX. I think they actually showed footage of inside of that building, and it's not actually that long ago that they fully brought that production line online.
So these may be the standard hexagonals, and maybe in here they're making all the specialized tiles, perhaps.
Yeah, I could see that being the case.
Okay. Not much to report on down here. Oh, there was something down here. These are the doublers for the top of the booster. Like basically, I don't want to call them burn plates, but they're kind of like that.
Yeah, I think referring to what Dan Hewitt said on the Flight 11 webcast, I think he referred to those as the mapped heat shielding on the forward dome.
Mapped. Okay, on to the apartment building. They've erected some scaffolding in these few places. They've made it so they can drive under on that one for work up here, so they don't have to interrupt traffic. Oh, workmen. I think there's workmen still going in. There's workmen here. So there's work vehicles getting at least using the car park for now, the parking garage. Excuse me, and working on the fascia in this area. On that area, looks like they're having a bit of trouble with wind. I'm sure they'll get that worked out. Around the front, they're starting some concrete under this area. We saw last week under the back area they're doing concreting on the ground floor, so they're continuing with that. Oh, sorry, American talk on the first floor.
It does seem like this building is going to look pretty damn close to the renders in the end. It's that's from what I'm seeing of it.
Kind of snazzy. And again, this walkway, I think there's an entry door down here, so they've got scaffolding up over it so they can continue working above it. The frame for marking out the windows is sitting here. And I can see the embeds on the edge of the concrete here for those little brackets to be, I want to say, welded on. They're welded, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah. I can see some of the steel framework inside. And around the other side, they got their glass pretty well all the way over to the end here. Just got to fill in this little, I'm guessing it's going to be a triangle in here. So it looks like they've got their brackets here, but they just need to, I guess there'll be a few specialty pieces of glass here for the corners. All those floors have been, all the ground floors been poured.
I gotta say, yeah, I'm glad they're adding all these little like fancy decorative pieces to this building, so it's not going to look like some big, boring concrete structure.
Yeah, you've seen industrial aerials, the prefab used to be tilt slab buildings. Yeah, they're kind of plain, but it's good to see when they do dress them up a little bit. Okay, down the front here, we'll get a better shot. Thought I did. This one will do anyway. They've finished getting rid of all the tiny homes of this area. We haven't found where they went yet, as far as I know. Starting to tear up concrete. I guess it's still speculation. It could be some kind of rocket garden or vehicle parking. I did suggest maybe it could be breakover, but I think Alexa was saying, Zach was saying, they're more than likely going to transport vehicles to the port vertically and tip them over at the port.
Which, yeah,
Definitely.
it does make sense.
Sorry, Alex.
Oh no, I've been saying that for quite a while as well.
Yeah, true, yeah. There's some rumour getting around about a tourist sort of area, but it wouldn't be here. I think Alaska was saying it's actually somewhere further along Highway 4 that they may.
Personally, I wouldn't rule out that area being a tourist thing, personally, but that's just me.
Okay, any last questions on the build site, Indy?
Yep. On the build site, or weren't we just talking about the apartment and stuff like that?
Sure. Oh yeah, that'll do.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. Brian's asking, when do you think the apartment building will be finished? At least when it's planned to be.
Yeah, there was some paperwork about that, but I do not remember. Sorry.
I mean, there's still a
And then
lot to do on the inside, so I'd imagine at least 6 months probably.
Fair enough. Missing Tools is asking about the holes. He's asking, are the holes there to relieve outgassing buildup problem with like Orion tiles have?
Orion is a completely different. That's a blade of heat shield. That's a completely different. I mean, this ablates, but not the same way. I'm not. I mean, if somebody wants to speculate until I get a better view, I'm gonna not have an opinion.
Thanks, Cindy.
And then there's one last question. Jacob's asking, the trapezoidal area of cleared land is interesting. Any ideas what that is?
Was that what we were just talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah, maybe Rocket Garden for vehicles, maybe a tourist spot, but I'm not sure about that. Otherwise, not really sure. I mean, they're going to need somewhere to park vehicles, I guess, once they start production full swing. I don't know.
I'm hoping for Rocket Garden.
Yeah, me too. All right, let's go to the launch site. And we'll start with pad B. All of the, I'll get a better photo. All of the mounting the balls, I want to call them. That's a better word for them. I'm sure have been put back in.
Let's see how long they stay back in.
So this launch mounts in quotes like Ryan Weber was saying it's fairly finished.
I'd like to say it's pretty damn close to being finished, although I feel like I've probably been saying that for a while now, so who knows?
Yeah, same.
Wait, Webby was saying it's nearly finished?
Yes,
That's shocking, I know.
I'm gonna need a few minutes. Hold on.
Surprise. Now that's showing my age. Maybe I can pick up that quote in chat. Down here, they've been putting in covers finally. I've been sort of wondering for a long time whether they're going to cover up these sump pumps, but there's one fairly well in there, fairly well completed, and the other side has its frame. Yeah, this is a better image actually. Has its frame in place.
They likely need to do it on all four corners.
Do you think covering the trench too underneath?
Just that big opening so they don't have any gas escape curling underneath it.
Game of pile there. Someone got it. Viper got it. Sorry, Alex.
Oh, nothing.
Okay. Up here. We'll down on that in a second. This trench thing over here has been finished. Want to call it or should we call it the Locks Pond? The lap pool?
The basin, the trough. That's a few other names I've seen that being called.
The ice bath.
That too. Yeah, it's kind of funny because they poured it one day, and then literally the next day they were starting to vent stuff into it.
Okay, interestingly down here, Alex pointed these out and shown, was it? Yeah, during the flyover, these heap of geotext material.
Yes. From
Which
jump
could
shots.
be-
Oh,
on.
no, it's definitely they're gonna be paving over wetlands soon.
I know. I know. Last night Zach had something to say about it. Where he thinks he might be getting used over at Pad 1, but is that too much for Pad 1?
There's no need for that at Pad 1.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
The entire structure is supported on piles. It's not like the factory where they needed to reinforce it for drilling. And that's a heck of a lot more than what would be needed for that little area on Pad 1.
Yeah, that was my question back to Zach, that there was sort of way too much just for that area. So, and with this,
And there's there's no reason for it on Pad 1.
Yeah, you gotcha. Yeah.
There's no structural reason for it, I should say.
And without getting political, the new administration seems to be pretty helpful in getting space companies around some sort of around paperwork a bit more to get this done quicker. Or even another suggestion was with what's his name, the Department of Defense guy visiting. Perhaps they've got some kind of military go ahead too. Perhaps.
Now that still wouldn't, unless it's an actual base. It would still be, even on bases, it still has to run through the normal environmental rules. So you can, for military installations, you can definitely stretch and not let people invest on the site, but for private property, no, you can't. From the submittal where they, for both the land bank and this, where they weren't having any public meetings. It was just a month comment period. That's very much the same way they approved for Pad B. That, I don't know, what was it, 0.2 of an acre bit of wetlands they paved over. But yeah. And even if it gets approved, then you're still open for litigation if somebody wants to light their money on fire.
This image, I think, is what I'm looking at now. I've got a good image of the. Oh, this one will do. The QD there's a better one still yet. So that little frame, I think Alex, you pointed out that frame was going to go in there.
Like 4 months ago, man.
Yeah, and there it is.
I got grief over it. Imagine that.
But look at you now. You're a soothsayer. You know the future.
Alex, our savior.
No.
Yay.
Find another hero.
I was gonna
You're an anti-hero.
say there's some happy crows out there somewhere.
Fly away as fast as you can.
So it looks like they've added some of the plumbing in here for the bridge in between. And still got a few, there's another one over there being put in, and still a few to go.
Yeah,
And
the
this
other
week is-
the other thing
Go
that
ahead.
I've noticed that needs doing on the arm still in most places is running all the wiring. Because I've seen inside some of the conduits and there's no wiring in a lot of it currently.
And a lot of that'll just have a small sensor cable in it, to be honest.
Yeah, like I always say, the bulk work is pretty quickly done. Then all the finer fiddly stuff of actually running lines and running electrical and fitting up fittings and so on takes a bit of time. This week we see some, you call them blast doors, Jake?
Yeah, I mean it's basically a much more refined version of what we see on the Pad 1 SQD. Obviously with the Pad 1 QD plate, it's a single door on the front of it. That's on a very basic hinge, whereas these it's two separate doors on the two different sides of the QD plate, and it seems to be more of a linkage system going on there to move those doors into place rather than a simple hinge.
Cool.
So Mokita's asking, just to clarify, what are all these black things that look like pipes for?
Up in here?
No, the textile.
Oh. Yeah, it's a reinforcement grid you place, because when the way they have to do this site, they normally would dig up, first all this muck and organic and bring in soil, but because of the wetlands, they can't. They have to basically just cover it with sand and then start adding engineered grade, and that ties it together and helps distribute the load. And one of the reasons a lot of this concrete around here cracks all the time is because they haven't done a deep compacting.
I remember when this was first done, they basically pushed a heap of dirt out of here and then put what you said, more structural dirt back in on top. That sort of did strip.
The current, they can't dig it out. If you look at how they did, they filled in front of Pad B. They just stripped the organic vegetation off the top, and then they put a layer of sand, and then they started with their fill, but they didn't dig it out.
Will they put that drainage system in here too, do you think, Alex?
Probably not. Not if... No.
Cool.
Yeah, on one of their submittals, they had this is how we have to finish it for. And that shot's great. You can see they hooked up the water line.
That's where I was heading. So we've seen this pipe sitting on the ground for quite some time now, which has come from over towards Highway 4, and I didn't show this one in show and tell. And up it goes. So just add a pipe on top. It runs all the way over here to, I'm assuming, the Firex.
Goes down, then it goes there, and then it goes across, and then it goes along the wall, and it looks like it's going shock face to the blue pipe that goes to the back of the pond.
Oh, that's interesting.
Why? It's potable water. It's potable water pipe.
So what? So they're still going to need to bring tankers full of water in to fill these tanks, the deluge tanks, aren't they?
No, they'll be able to fill them with this, but
Oh, okay.
but it's right there. You can see right. Yeah,
Is
I can't
that,
wait for.
Alex, sorry, just questioning you on that. Is that not to do with this or this? Is that not to do with this?
Remember last week and the week before, all the pipes that were sitting just to the left of this. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I pointed out. This one goes on top of there. This is and yeah, that's. There's other shots. It does not look like that. The skids go all the way to it, and you can see it running along the back wall in this picture as well. Yeah, and there's another shot where you see where it crosses over. Yeah, and then it goes
Under there
across.
somewhere.
And now, yeah, it's the top one, the visible one, right there.
Sweet. Well, that's interesting. Oh, I'm just trying to find that other angle.
Yeah, one of these.
Oh, I see. There's a big gap in here. Yeah.
And it's. I think the actual water pipe is much closer to us. So I think it's. It might even be one bit. Yeah, it's. There's another shot where it's really obvious that they're not really connected. But yeah.
Cool. Okay.
It's definitely looking like potable water is potable water.
So they can put from that water line. Am I right? They can put it in the Pyrex system, in the water deluge system, and for some reason they can pump it over this way.
Generally, you kind of need. If you have water, it's good to have it around your site, especially one that can burn.
Yeah. Cool. Sure, we've got the angles you're looking for here. That's not a bad angle. I couldn't remember that pipe came up over here, from the pad B.
It's. I think it's between 3 and 4.
Cool.
Tony's asking how. Sorry. Tony's asking how long to fill these tanks, the deluge tanks, then for turnaround.
Go ahead.
I don't know what size the feed line is coming from Brownsville. I mean, a couple miles an hour times whatever. Probably a day or two.
Is that the speed of water, a couple of miles an hour?
Well, it's how fast you want to flow it through your pipe. And what material you're using, how much. But usually you only do a few miles an hour, a few kilometers.
Is that it there, Alex?
I believe so. Yeah.
Cool.
Mr. Hal's asking, are they plumbed into the city water right now?
Haven't seen if they've. They're all connected to whichever lines they have since put in. I don't know if it's complete all the way to Brownsville. We haven't seen them doing any sort of line flushes or anything else, but unless people are looking for it to get see it, yeah. Because this one you can see it's seems independent of the skids.
Cool. What an amazing new system. So they've still got their this funny field manifold. They may be temporary, yeah.
Probably is.
I'm wondering if that's we're always questioning why is there 13 ports. I'm wondering if it's just I don't know, it's something they had laying around once again.
No clue.
Yeah, because they don't seem to have used all the ports, and if that's going to fill through that water pipe, well, they're not going to
Well, it
need
wouldn't
it, will it?
matter. I mean, it trunks down. It's a 4-inch pipe. There's only so much flow you can get through it.
Yeah. Okay, that's the water deluge. There doesn't seem any other real changes in the this areas there.
You're cleaning out the muck pit, but they've been doing that for a few weeks.
Yeah, that'd be a good job for us. Okay, still a bit of concrete to pour there, and this week we've noticed that this one was put back. They may have rubbed this motor to put on this pump this week, and perhaps they've done some testing this week. Jake?
Yeah, I think there was at least one round of tank farm testing this week, so yeah, might have. And I'm pretty sure it was the methane side going as well.
Pretty much only into methane side, and it's being exercised nearly daily.
So, and because the ship side's not really ready yet, but the booster side is ready for that sort of procedures.
There's a lot of ground stuff, reclamation system, and detailing stuff. There's a lot of things they can be working on without having to.
And Alex, when this pipe gets put back in, will that tell us that the tower system's ready for testing and testing/use?
Not use, but testing.
Sure, yeah. Keep my eye on that little pipe the whole time. Someone suggested we call that the Stephanie building because I want to see it gone.
Oh yeah, that was me teasing that they should name it after you because you hate it so much.
Just get rid of it.
So I have another
At
question
least-
about those deluge pipes.
Sure.
If we're looking at those still,
Sure.
you don't need to know, asking how will they seal up the underground trench, the hole beside the deluge tank specifically?
The plates are welding down. That's probably going to be left open.
Yeah, I'll come back. Sorry. Oops.
Whiplash.
Whiplash, yeah. Yeah, we've been seeing them lay. I can't see it this side. No, it's not on this side. It's on the other side of the tanks. You're saying that's probably going to be left open. I think I agree with that. And this side, they've been welding the strip in beside the trench. So that's just how that's going to be finished forever. And probably won't need access. I mean, I could walk through if they really needed to. Any more questions on that area?
Nope, that's it. Thank you so far.
Cool. I think we've been waiting to see removed of these control buildings here. There's one here's been removed. And we'll probably see the heaters removed in the near future. And possibly those two as well.
Glad that system's gone.
Could they use that once they removed that hardware there, could they use that space for just even more web browsers? Or was it not really much of a need to add anymore there?
I don't know if they didn't necessarily need. I thought they'd have more Lux vaporizers, to be honest. But I guess the where is it going to have 8 of them?
Yeah.
Are these ones?
Yeah.
Are they nitrogen then, are they?
Yep.
Yeah, and methane.
Yep.
And speaking of web browsers, did seem to be another 2 delivered to the launch site earlier today.
Hopefully the Lux is. It goes launch site or did it goes ASU?
I think they turned into the launch site.
Yeah, it's ASU.
Sorry, just one more to go with those 2, then just one more. Is there spare spots? They're filled, aren't they, these ones?
That one's filled. I thought there's 3 openings on the Lux side.
Yeah, 3, yeah. So once these 2 get the 2 that are right,
yeah.
To go, yeah. And last week we saw this trench dug up. Looks like they've backfilled it. Oh, is he digging still? Oh, he's digging.
Things are compacting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that whole area was sus.
So there must have been a big section of conduits there needed completing. Okay, we might as well move over to pad scrap now. I thought this was torn up concrete. It looks like that's just dirt on top of concrete, but looks like they finished doing their pile work in this area and they're continuing pile work in this area for still assuming new tanks.
The culvert looks like they dug part of it and covered it where those cones are on the right. Where you thought they're. Yeah, there's an old trench through there.
Yeah,
I was going to say, yeah, is that what they've done on the left there as well? Is that where they've started covering it and filling it in? Or is that something else going on there? Just to the left of your cursor, Stephanie.
I know the other side they have, yeah. It crossed. Yeah, in front of. Thankfully, so.
That's concrete washout.
Yep.
The pedestals for the tank water deluge farm are all gone. I guess we'll see that all flattened soon enough, all that area. There's lots of the cages getting stored, staged. I'm assuming that's way too many for in here, so I'm assuming a lot of that's for actual pad B, pad A, sorry, construction. Pad 1, pad A.
Yep.
So Gwen, are you saying that they're still running water pipes towards Brownsville? Have they finished it up? You're saying that, which is why. Oh, they have been laying. Oh, so they may have finished it. Thanks. I think that's what you're saying, Gwen.
Yeah. Event dudes or Dave will eventually let us know. You say something completely wrong, so then they'll quickly jump in and correct you.
I'm saying things completely wrong all the time. It's hilarious, but it's all good. It's all part of the fun. Let's hope I don't wear people's patience out, that's all. Okay. They're even breaking up along the edge here, is that getting broken up, or is that some of the old fill they used?
I think that was always a gravel edge.
Yeah, okay.
It's getting hard
Yeah,
to see where it's broken up, and
yeah, we'll
I
be
expect
soon.
that whole edge to be gone.
That'll get blurry. That'll get blurry soon, won't it?
Definitely.
Where the edge is. So this has been torn down. I guess, so there's that pipework still in here, so to the base of the weirs. So I guess that's still quite a bit to tear up in time. Gee, that's a lot of rebar, eh?
Yeah, but it's already tied cages, so it's not nearly as impressive as it looks.
Oh, I see that. Yeah, it's poofed out. It's all poofy.
Yeah, it's already in there.
Oh, here's Poofy. There's another movie reference. Actually, what's his name? Ray's the voice actor. Ray up. Everyone Loves Ray. There's a cartoon movie where he says, "My hair's not messy. It's poofy." I can't quite imitate his voice. Yeah, so a bit more destruction around Tower 1.
And it's worth mentioning, whilst we're down this end of the launch site, it looks like later on tonight they will be rolling one of the big horizontal storage tanks from the Port of Brownsville to the launch site. I'm not sure where they're going to sit it until it's actually a foundation ready for it.
They probably need to make room for the cold box.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I can segue over to that. I thought the closure would be to bring ASU equipment in, and to put it in nearly straight away, yeah?
I mean, oh, go ahead, Alex.
I was just going to say, I thought one of the ground photographers had a picture of one of the tanks already on a transport.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Although I guess there's also the possibility that they might move some other hardware along with that tank as well. It might not just be the tank moved tonight.
Yeah, because I mean, in one of these shots, the ASUs are started putting the shims down around the plates. Yeah, off to the left. There's one. You just passed it, bottom of the frame. Right there, yeah. They're starting to spread the shims out. So
this will be fairly quick to get the main big bits in place, populated, and then there's, once again, all the fiddly work of picking it all up.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I think all these also heat exchangers, yeah?
Yeah, water air intercoolers.
Water air intercoolers, yeah. So they seem to be all in place now and mostly hooked up for the main parts. Still no drive shafts. I guess they might have been in the way. I mean, I guess they don't need them there anyway yet.
Nope. And there'll be another set of compressors should be showing up in the near future.
I was just about to ask you, are these single or multi-stage compressors here already?
That's a 6-stage.
Whoa. So it's like compressing, cooling type thing?
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And then there should be a booster compressors on where the scaffolding is. There'll be another mount. Now on the right side, if you're right there.
Right. You're talking right left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, right. There'll be another drive and compressor showing up in the near future.
Where's the compressor going to fit? Actually, on it, on the one unit here, maybe.
They might just send the shaft between the airways, yeah.
Oh, and sit it over here. Yep, gotcha. Yep. For this big
Or
area,
there's-
yeah, for these areas here.
Yeah. And there's also the filtering front end that'll be in that area.
Yep, to get rid of impurities and moisture, is that right?
And that's just mechanical for dust. The more interesting filtering is happening on one of the skids.
Cool. Okay, any questions, Indy?
Not at the moment.
Alex or Jake, any more comments on the launch sites?
That's one place we could. I don't think we did look up properly, and is the base of the Pad 2 QDR to see where they're up to with the GAC connections there. I don't know if we got an angle of that, we.
Around the other side, up here.
Yeah.
Have a quick look. Not sure whether we do actually. No, they're the other pad. No, I got pad 1 mixed up with pad 2 here for some reason.
It happens.
No, I don't believe so, Jake. Thanks.
Well, not to worry, because I know they've added a load more flex hoses there recently, and they seem to have added another vent outlet there as well. There's obviously you've got the one with the 3 outlets on the end of it, and then there's another one slightly further around, just below the big piston. That's the new one.
Yeah, by the hinges.
Because I don't think many people have actually noticed that yet. That new one.
I think some photo. Oh, I'm not sure why I don't have that photo. Sorry. Have a quick look just quickly for a second before I sign off. One second here. Ah, that's the wrong folder.
$43.66, maybe. Yeah, $34.66.
And while you look for that, we want to thank Drew Nar for another $5 Canadian donation. And he says, I hope they install the K&N filters on the ASU as to not void the manufacturer's warranty. Thanks, Drew.
All right, I got it. I don't normally miss images. I must have missed some of it when I'm downloading. Sometimes I don't come through.
I think Mauricio did a dump last night.
Okay. There you go, Jake.
Yeah, it's
Oh
right by
yes.
the piston. Right by the piston, you can see it.
Yeah, go to the piston. That's it. That's the new outlet.
Oh, this ram's definitely still hydraulic with its pipe on the far end.
Most of the electrical lines are hooked up.
In here, yep.
Yeah, and I noticed the high pressure lines. There was the flex hoses running between each of the connection points now. Though I did notice there was one on the tower side. There was one line there that didn't seem to have anything connected to it, and I couldn't see anywhere on the arm itself that you could actually connect to. So I was wondering what that's all about. Like, it's not some kind of spare, is it?
I have to see it. There's all sorts of weird.
All right. So there's no more questions. We've gone just over 2 hours, I think, which is fine. I mean, we could probably go down other rabbit holes, but you both
That's for
happy?
tomorrow.
It's for tomorrow. Yeah, that's all for tomorrow. Sure. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, with that, I'll thank Jake very much for your welcome return to the live stream, and was glad to have you back again. It's awesome to have you back again, actually. So thanks for your time today.
Yeah, it's been a fun one, and yeah, I'm glad to be back. And yeah, looking forward to hopefully coming on again soon.
As always, I thank Alex for your amazing patience and your amazing knowledge. So thank you very much again for being with us today.
Thank you. It's nice to be here. And yeah, probably tomorrow.
And Matt, any final words, trusty producer? Any final words from you there, Matt?
I just want to remind everybody that we are looking for sponsors. So if you guys are interested, be sure to reach out in our email. We have it below in the information section underneath the video. And otherwise, looking forward to tomorrow's show, Starbase Expanded, 6 p.m. Central, where we go over all of the external and support sites for Starbase. So be sure to join us, guys.
I'm Stephanie B, so we'll say most engines cut off, stage separation confirmed, and love you, bye. Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, let's see.